Namaskar and welcome to Changemakers. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Didn't many of us in our childhood wave at planes, helicopters that would pass by? Our fascination with flying objects, truly an example of human capacity to innovate and create. Now, thanks to decades of advancement, today we are living in the age of drones. Drones are everywhere, not just flying high, but also transforming our lives. Did you know that drones in India played a crucial role in delivering vaccines to far off places during the period of the pandemic? Drones are being used in advanced mapping, they're used in the defense sector, they have delivery solutions that they provide, and the applications are innumerous. They can even deliver a hot cup of chai to you right where you are. Our changemakers are young innovators who are using drones as a tool to make our lives better. Let's learn more about our changemakers and their amazing flying machines.
Drones are unmanned aerial vehicles. These unique flying machines are pushing the boundaries of human capability. Our changemakers have transformed drones into state-of-the-art tools and are using it to provide unique solutions to traditional problems with higher speed, better reach and greater efficiency. Their work and innovation are shining examples of Make in India. Our first changemaker, AUS or Arav Unmanned System, started in 2013 and is currently headquartered in Bengaluru. It manufactures survey-grade drones and provides drone-based end-to-end integrated managed solutions for applications in urban planning, industrial areas, smart cities, micro-irrigation, watershed, mining, power and infrastructure. AUS's solutions are 10x faster and generate million times richer data, helping create insightful analytics so that businesses can take well-informed decisions. AUS is playing a key role in government's flagship Swamitva scheme by helping in survey and mapping of village areas and create digital land records across the country. The startup has mapped more than 55 lakh acres of area for different projects across India, including 200 plus mines, 35 plus cities and 25,000 plus villages. Our next changemaker, Tech Eagle, is a pioneer and leader in drone-based logistics in India. Based in Gurgaon, it enables government departments and enterprises around the world to transport parcels up to 20x faster and economical for last mile and mid-mile logistics. The startup is on a mission to save and improve lives by providing efficient and rapid access to healthcare, e-commerce and hyperlocal needs. They've done remarkable work in delivery services across difficult terrains in the Northeast, Himachal and other such places. They delivered medicines and vaccines in the hills of Meghalaya and Nagaland with speeds ranging from 10x to 20x faster than ground transportation. They executed the longest flight in India for delivery drone with India Post. Tech Eagle is also collaborating with leading delivery platforms like Swiggy and Zomato to enhance capacities. Our third changemaker, Drone Star Technology from Mumbai, started in 2019 with a dream to make drones do a lot more than just be an eye in the sky. With the vision, the startup has focused on building autonomous, remote-controlled vehicles for air and land. Their drones can have phenomenal impact across sectors like agriculture, public health and emergency response. Drone Star were the first responders during the challenging phase of COVID lockdowns, helping in law enforcement and delivery of essential supplies. Their drones are tuned to act efficiently in times of calamities like flood, earthquakes or fires. In agriculture, spraying, sowing, monitoring crops with single drone, enabling farmers to utilize the products in pre-harvest, harvest and post-harvest to maximize profits.
Isn't it fascinating what drones can achieve? Let's now meet our changemakers and learn more about their work and vision. Let me welcome Rohan Raut, founder, Drone Stark Tech, Vipul Arav, founder, Arav Unmanned Systems, that's AUS, and Vikram Singh, founder, Tech Eagle. A warm welcome to all three of you. First up, we'd like to know the point where you realized and decided that drones are going to take your dreams and your careers forward. Rohan, if I can come to you first.
Well, thank you for the introduction. So drones came in my mind pretty early on, back when I was in college, where the film Three Idiots had just come by when I was in the second year or third year. So with that, I decided to build my own drone in 2013 as my final year project in college. And we did so pretty well. In fact, it was an internet controlled drone. Back in the day, it used to work on 3G. We won like a lot of college awards, a lot of national level awards back then. But then later on, we continued, the team went in different directions, continued working in different places as jobs. So when I was finally done with all my jobs, and I wanted to start something of my own, I thought of going back to drones.
Right. And Vikram, how did your story begin with drones?
So basically, drone story began in IIT Kanpur when I joined IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
But I never thought at the start that drones will be the career, right, in which I'll go and I'll choose drones as a career. Drones from the day 6 or 7 in IIT Kanpur, in the first week of IIT Kanpur actually, was just a passion, hobby that we used to build different kind of the model aircrafts, model drones, fixed wing, multi-rotor, all the kind of things, but always for fun. When it became serious, it was in 2015. Why it became serious? Because I belong to a small village in Rajasthan called Kishanganj, which is 130 kilometers away from Jaipur. And there still we are not connected with the roads. And I have lost my sister in childhood because of the not better healthcare access, uncle because of the snake bite. And this was always at the back of my mind in subconscious. And when I got a good exposure until I can say second year or third year, participated in national, international competitions, won a lot of awards. That's where these two dots got connected. That why I can't solve this particular accessibility problem in the rural India. And then when I went deeper into this particular thing, that this is a problem not only for healthcare, but for overall logistics, and not only for India, but for overall world. And that's where the origin of the Tech Eagle and the idea germination happened, that we will build this on-demand drone logistics.
Hi, Subhendu. Thanks a lot for having me over on this wonderful session. So we started way before anyone knew about the possibility of using drones in the commercial segment. So we started our journey in 2013 back from IIT Kanpur campus, when drones were largely being used for only defense and homeland security applications. But we had this understanding that at some point of time, they'll become one of the very effective tools to aid enterprises in conducting their businesses in a better and more effective manner. And as the technology progresses, there will be new possibilities which will be created from the way drone collects the data, and also the way these data sets are analyzed to deliver business intelligence. So we spent quite a good amount of time figuring out various dynamics of drone industry, building the hardware, building the software, understanding what data needs to be collected and how to analyze these data to deliver all these business outcomes. So it has been a 9-year, almost a 10-year now old journey.
Right. If you talk about the importance of innovation-friendly reforms in the sector that you're working, drone-friendly reforms in particular, we know of a production-linked incentives scheme which is specially meant for drones. We also have Startup India program that supports many young entrepreneurs. What has your experience been in that, Vikram, if I can come to you?
So, Shwendu, on the policy framework, there was a time also when the R&D and the experiments could have been possible very easily. And then in the middle framework of the policy, there was a time when even if you need to do a small, let's say the R&D, you need to go through a certification or let's say the registration process. But with the recent reforms on the policy side, now the innovation has been possible with a quite good speed and a faster speed. When we talk about the Startup India scheme or the PLI scheme is definitely an incentive for the component manufacturer as well as the drone as a product manufacturer. On the Startup India side for Tech Eagle, there has been a little bit of the support from the incubation side in early days in 2017, and then later on the support in terms of the different challenges which is Startup India portal runs and different partnership programs that they run. And biggest of all, I think the awareness that this is Startup India program has created, where a lot of people now are open to join startups, join these teams. A lot of families are now familiar with the startups. So acceptance has been higher nowadays.
Rohan, the same question about these reforms. How useful did you find them in your journey as an entrepreneur?
So I definitely agree with what Vikram said about Startup India giving incubation facilities and PLI definitely helping out Indian manufacturers. But there is one more major reform that has really changed manufacturing of drones in India, which is banning of imported drones. So drones were earlier on completely banned, but now it has been set in a way where a complete built product cannot be bought from outside and imported. So that gives the biggest boost for Indian drone industries and innovators to create good products right here in India. So
right. That's an amazing point. In fact, Vipul, your innovation, your enterprise, all three of you is a fine example of Make in India. Tell us about this journey of developing indigenous technology and how do they compete with the world today?
I think the question is the other way around, how good the international technologies are to meet the specific requirements of Indian environment, right? See, India is a different market. Anything which has been made for a developed nations where people are happy spending money on having a personal drone for recreational activity is not the market which exists in India for drones. It's a market where people are looking at solving some really fundamental problems. For example, mapping all the villages to create land records and property records for rural population, which is more than 1 billion in strength, right? And when we talk about solving such problems, we are not solving or mapping villages which are only in certain geography. These are villages spread from higher Himalayas to the coastal areas to hotbeds of Rajasthan. So when you have to operate a machine in such wide variety of geography and varying environment, varying weather conditions, the expectations from the machine and the intelligence which it can offer also changes. And India is also a cost-sensitive market. While you have to deliver the best version of the technology, you have to also deliver it in a way where it is economically viable.
Absolutely, vital point there. If you can now talk specifically about your respective enterprise. Rohan, talk about Drone Stark Tech. During the pandemic lockdowns, we saw how physical movement was restricted. We learned, many of us, how technology could be an enabler in many ways. Your company, your drones played a very important role in law enforcement, in maintaining essential supplies. Take us through that experience.
So when the pandemic hit, that was 22nd of March, we got a order from the police on 2nd of April to come up with any drone solution that you can provide. And they were looking specifically for a speaker-based public announcement drone. So in just 4 days, we turned up with the drone, and the effectiveness of the system was really shocking because whereas most of the drones are seen as eye in the sky, what our company believes in doing is beyond eye in the sky. So drones can do a lot more than just gather data and see through. So they can take action. So with the speakers, we were able to manage the crowd, control the crowd, address the crowd without being close to them. And still, it was effective because people knew that they are being seen. When you tell someone that you are being seen, they are more self-aware. So we could do specific announcements to specific people, which was something that really connected well with the police.
Right, and you also customize drones for the security forces, for the defense forces. When it comes to the nation's defense, the stakes become very high. How could drone technology, the ones that you provide, the services, how could that be a game changer for our forces?
So right now, what we have built up is a drone platform per se, which is our heavy lift drone platform. So it allows us to integrate a lot of different payloads, a lot of different applications that we wouldn't have even thought of. So we've moved from announcement system was not what the drone was originally designed for. Originally, what we had designed it for was for agricultural use. We did that as well. We did the public announcement. We did drone-based deliveries. We did firefighting. So it really what we've built is a platform to integrate a lot of new tech in. And this is
right, so there's a lot of innovation that you can do with the tool that is the drone. Yes. Because you mentioned firefighting in disaster management situations. One can't imagine the innovative ways in which drones could be useful.
Absolutely. So we've also, carry forward my previous experience with having a internet-controlled drone. So our drone is completely internet-enabled as well, with live streams directly from the drone to the control centers. So we've done this over 4G as well as with some new innovators on new technologies as well. So.
Right. Vikram, if we talk about Tech Eagle, from food, medicines to garam chai, you seem to deliver everything. I mean, you're responsible for Asia's first vaccine delivery during a very crucial phase for all of us. And in fact, when you talk about medicines, it could be, in fact, a matter of life and death for somebody. Give us some insight into what kind of man-machine coordination does your enterprise do to make all of this possible?
Definitely, as Vipul was also saying, when we build something for Indian environment, we go from coastal area, flying in very, very high winds, to the sub-zero degree temperature in upper Himalayas. And then we go from desert of Rajasthan to the east hills as well, right? And when we design, so the Tech Eagle, from designing, developing, and manufacturing, takes care of the entire cycle in-house. And while designing to manufacturing, we have to keep all these factors in mind, that when you are operating, it has to operate in minus 15, minus 30 degrees Celsius also, as well as in minus 50, 55 degrees Celsius also as the system temperature. You need to operate at a high altitude of 5,000 meter AMSL, and you have to operate in a coastal maritime sector as well. As an experience while building this product, we got good opportunities to work with different state governments and different defense forces to test our product in different geographies. And now, as a Vertiplane X3, which we recently launched, can operate in all these kind of geographies while delivering medicines, blood.
Actually, you've done extensive work, Vikram, in the northeastern parts of India, where there are a lot of terrain-related challenges that one witnesses.
I'll tell you about a project. So in Meghalaya with the state government, we did this delivery project from Nongstown District Hospital to Primary Healthcare Center, basically. And there was on one hill. And the PHC was situated on a hill, which was only, let's say, the size of 5 meter by 5 meter or even lesser than that. And you need to go and deliver while descending almost a kilometer and while coming back, ascending a kilometer, while the horizontal distance was around 30 kilometers in that particular project, and we delivered in less than 20 minutes. Similarly, in Nagaland, we delivered from point A to point B. Aerial distance was 40 kilometers, ground distance was 90 kilometers. With the ground, it took literally 8 hours to travel that 90-kilometer distance. With the drone, while there was a 1.5 kilometer height hill in between, over that you needed to climb, deliver, and come back. And we delivered that 20x faster in only 28 minutes. And that is the kind of problem we are solving by transporting these kind of medicines and essentials within the first golden hour. So basically, we can deliver anywhere in 100-kilometer radius within 50 minutes. And that's what we are building for this entire drone logistics airline.
Right. Vipul, what AUS does, reading up, I also saw you tackle challenges posed by topographical challenges in hilly regions also lies your specialty. Give us some a glimpse of the insight into the kind of services that you provide in these difficult terrains. I want to come to Swamitva, but before that, this part.
So, Shubhendu, there are numerous possibilities which exist from the drone data. So, what we as an enterprise focuses on creating some, or we have tailored some very specific solutions. Solutions around, let's say, how you can use drone data to plan your mining business and improvise its efficiency and ensure that it is environment friendly while meeting your productivity targets. If you are making a road in any geography, for example, let us pick up an example of a hilly area. How do you use the drone data to figure out that what alignment of the road should be so that you have minimum cost, time and effort implications? And how do you make it in a manner where your input cost can be reduced and execution time can be improved? Not only that, when you are actually executing it, tracking the progress using the drone data, that how is your qualitative and quantitative adherence to timelines and various other quality parameters are basically planned versus actual comparison. And once the road is ready, you also can figure out that how's the health of the infrastructure or the asset at different intervals. Likewise, we have solutions for rural development, for example, or a small urban development. You map a rural area or urban area in hilly areas. The challenges are different. If you want to put up a water utility network, you would like to know how the terrain is varying, where each and every utility and house is, so that when you're planning these network of pipelines, you don't make any mistakes and you ensure that the right amount of water is being supplied to every nook and corner of that city or a rural establishment. So those are the kind of solutions we have been able to develop using drone data sets. So at the foundation of it is the capability to collect large volume of data at very high accuracy, and then doing very let's say a deep learning enabled and image processing enabled data analytics, which allows these specific parameters to be extracted, which are useful for surveying applications in sectors which I just spoke about.
An excellent example of surveying project. AU has played a key role in mapping under Swamitva scheme. I think it's a fascinating example of how cutting edge technology is being used for a project which is a grassroots project. What was your experience like as being part of Swamitva scheme?
Oh, we are still operating. We have close to 100 drones which are operational for the Swamitva scheme. So far, we have mapped close to 25,000 villages in different parts of the country. Uttarakhand was one of the first state which was assigned to us. And it was extremely challenging when you are operating in hilly areas, because the travel time from one village to other village used to be like 4 to 5 hours. Specifically, so we used to generally fly from one side of the hill, send the drone on the other side of the hill, get it mapped and come. So the whole actual time which was spent was less than an hour, whereas it would have been more than 4 hours to just move from one location to the other location. So it has been absolutely overwhelming experience, Shubhendu. A couple of things which, one, we are enabling absolutely different kind of empowerment in the rural areas. People who do not have official ownership rights on the land will have ownership rights now, and because of that ownership right, they'll have access to a lot of financial facilities in the market. People can become entrepreneur, can educate their children, resolve their property disputes on one side. On the other side, when you go to these rural areas, the first thing you notice is that a lot of kids, school-going kids, get excited, and many of them, they are seeing the drone for the first time. So directly or indirectly, you're inspiring a lot of young future entrepreneurs and future engineers and future contributors of the ecosystem who might get inspired from the technology and would like to make a career out of it. So that is another good experience which we have seen, where our pilots who go on the field end up spending some time with the kids, explaining them what it is all about.
Right. That's a fascinating story. And as we come to the close of this conversation, finally, your thoughts on the future of drone-led development in the country as you see it. Rohan, if I can bring that to you first.
So I see the future is very bright when it comes to drones. Drones are going to be everywhere. It's going to impact it's already impacting so many people's lives, but drones are going to be a lot more common sights, and people are going to see them more like how people see planes in the sky now. So that's what I believe is going to happen in terms of drones. They're going to be there for surveillance, for delivery, for security, for a lot of new applications that haven't even thought of right now, maybe. So I do see a very bright future when it comes to drone technology as a whole in this country.
Right. And Vikram, how do you see the days ahead for drone-led work and development?
I think definitely it's exciting, it's challenging, and it's responsibility also on all the stakeholders to now fulfill the vision of making India a drone hub in maybe next 5 years, not in 5 years, then definitely in next 7, 8 years. And as Tech Eagle, we are definitely working towards building this large network to deliver medicines, blood, essential items, and items which can actually save lives and improve lives at the grassroots level. So definitely the future is bright, and drones will bring a lot of impact-driven work in our lives.
Vipul, how exciting is the future with drones?
I think a lot of enterprises today or startups today are building that future. What I see is that every village in India will have its own drone for solving a lot of infrastructure and agriculture related problem. At least that is what I see happening in the next 2 to 3 years. On the other side, I see that there will be at least 2 to 3 unicorns created out of the drone ecosystem in the next 5 years from India. And third thing which I see is that India would be doing a lot of drone diplomacy, where I feel that a good number of companies in India would be solving problems not only for the Indian ecosystem, but would be solving it for other developing nations, which are facing the similar issues around the efficiency of their infrastructure and rural development.
Right. On that note, thank you very much, Rohan, Vipul, Vikram. Best wishes to your teams and your fantastic organizations. Thanks very much for being a part of this conversation.
Thank you, Shubhendu.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
With that, we conclude this edition of Changemakers. We hope that these stories inspire you to be an agent of change, whoever you are, wherever you are. Till we meet again, namaskar.